What's up everyone, in this video I'm going to compare HTC One and Samsung Galaxy S4 for one final time, considering different factors such as build quality, screen, in-hand feel, sound, usability and user experience, camera, gaming, charging and battery life, extra features and benchmarking. Considering all the factors, I'm going to give my humble opinion, but your opinion can be different, and I totally respect your opinion because your likes and dislikes and needs might be very different from mine. I respect your opinion, and I expect that you respect mine and refrain from trolling or flaming for no apparent reason. This is not a battle for a crown or number one spot, but rather sharing my findings by using both these devices over the course of 2 months. First, I'm going to talk about build quality. Without a doubt, HTC One has better build quality both. And as you can see, the choice of the materials, both have different choice of materials. I'm not against plastic, but I'm against using a plastic which looks cheap, and S4 has a better feel in terms of material and build quality as compared to, let's say, S3. However, in comparison to HTC One, it feels less premium, which is obviously you can see from this video that HTC One feels more premium than S4. However, it has other advantages like removable back cover, removable battery, and SD card slot. Removable back cover means you can customize your phone back without putting it in the case and making it look bigger and feel bulky. HTC One build quality is good, but still not among the best, with many people complaining about the gaps in white plastic and this metal here on the top as well. I will just show you in a minute that what I'm talking about. And some people also complain that these grills are not flush with the screen, and there is noticeably raise either in the screen or in the grills. My HTC One is perfect in terms of, you can say, the speaker grills. There is no issue with the speaker grills. However, I have a gap in between the plastic and the metal, and on some places the plastic is bulging out. Let me show you what I'm talking about. As you can see, this bit of plastic, it's bulging out from the frame, and there is somewhat gap between the metal and this plastic here. Once again, see that bulge of the white plastic coming out of the metal. Similarly, you can see a visible gap between the white plastic and the metal over here. So although HTC One has some of the minor issues like I have explained, however, overall, if you compare between these two devices, HTC One is by far the clear winner in terms of the build and the build quality. It feels much more premium than Samsung Galaxy S4. So moving on, let's compare the screens. If you compare the screens, both have 1080p screen. However, HTC One has slightly smaller screen, 4.7 as compared to 5-inch screen, or 4.99 inch screen of S4. So the pixels per inch is higher on HTC One as compared to Samsung Galaxy S4. It has 469 ppi. This one has 440 ppi. However, having said that, both screens are different from each other because Samsung is using LED screen, whereas HTC One is using LCD screen. Some people like LED and some people like LCD. LED has different advantages, like it has you can say incredible contrast as compared to LCD screens. LCD screens, on the other hand, have more natural color, and LEDs have slightly oversaturated color. Some people like oversaturated colors, some people like the natural look and feel of LCD screens. And LED screen also have better viewing angles, whereas LCD screens has better brightness. I've already made a screen comparison between the two devices. I have already made a video about the screens. You can check out that video if you want to compare the screen in details. I will call this round a tie because both screens have different advantages over each other, and both are extremely sharp with the 1080p screen resolution, and it's very hard to pick a winner between them. And the reason why I'm giving it a tie, because it depends on the personal preference. I like actually both of them, and I myself is not able to decide which one is better, so that's why I'm giving it a tie. So in the first round, which was the build, HTC One was the winner. On the second, which is the screen, it's a tie. Moving on to the in-hand feel, and to me, S4 has a better in-hand feel. The reason are actually there are three reasons. One is the location of the power switch. On HTC One, the power switch is on the top, and on S4, the power switch is on the right. And when you are holding like that, it's very difficult to reach the power button here. As you can see, you have to adjust your grip. Keep on adjusting your grip all the time. In order to power on, you have to hold it like this, and for the volume you have to hold it like this. For operation you have to hold it like this, and for these buttons you have to hold it like that. Whereas on S4, if you are holding your device like that, you can reach for your power and for your volume up here, and you can use turn on the device easily, no problem. And although the size is pretty much similar between HTC One and S4, S4 is slightly smaller, less taller than HTC One, but although the screen on HTC One is 4.7 inch, which is smaller as compared to S4, however, in hand, HTC One feels more substantial than S4. For two reasons. One is the weight. S4 is lighter as compared to HTC One, and also it has some nice feeling. Probably it's thinner or something, I don't know, but in hand feeling, S4 is much better as compared to HTC One, and it appears that S4 is more manageable as compared to HTC One. And also the back and home button, as you can see here, they are actually kind of a mess on HTC One. The home button on S4 is in the middle, and on HTC One it's on the left. For right-handed people, it's not easy to press the home button. You have to really bend you have to change your grip like that, or if you're using it normally like this and you have to press home, you have to really reach out, and it's very uncomfortable. You have to use it either with two hands, or you have to keep on switching your grip all the time. There are actually some things that to like about HTC One in hand feel. The first one is when you pick up your HTC One, there is a cold feel because of the metal backing and metal overall. Everywhere it is a metal phone. So whenever you pick it up, it is a you will have a cold feeling, which is very pleasant. The same feeling you get whenever you pick up an iPhone. And also on S4, when you pick it up, there is always a oily and sweaty feeling on the back, which I really hate it. There is no such feeling when you pick up HTC One. And for S4, this is the reason why I would recommend either use a third party back cover or put it in a case, because I don't know, I've been using without a case for almost a month and a half, but finally I decided to give it up and I bought this case. This case is actually very nice and I will fully recommend. It will not only uh, make you to, it will not only allow you to get rid of that oily feeling, but also it will make S4 look much nicer. It will make S4 slightly bulkier, but not much, but it will add some pleasant things which are more substantial as compared to a little bit increase in size. So moving on, let's compare the sound of the two devices. I believe you have already heard the lot of sound tests on YouTube or anywhere on the internet, so I don't have to play. I think I don't have to play the sound or the music. If you want, I can play. But however, there is no comparison between the sound of the two devices. HTC One is by far has a better sound, not only because it has a front-facing speaker, but also it has Beats audio and it sounds nicer, much nicer than S4. So let me try to play a song. Anyways, you might not be able to hear the difference in sound on YouTube video. However, there is a substantial difference of quality, not only in loudness but also in the quality of the sound. HTC One sounds much louder and richer as compared to S4. So in the third round, the which is the sound, HTC One is the clear winner. So moving on, the next one is the usability and user experience. I can tell you that both handsets are exceptional in usability and you can't go wrong with any one of them. However, there are some differences if you look closer. To me, S4 is the overall winner because of the reason, like 6-7 reasons. Some apps appears to run smoother on HTC One, on S4 as compared to HTC One. Take the example of the Facebook. The Facebook experience is somewhat not as pleasant as it is on S4. Even the scrolling on Facebook is somewhat jittery on HTC One, whereas the experience of Facebook is much nicer on S4. And as you can see, many apps have this software menu button here. This is the second reason why I will prefer S4. The menu button is over here, which is a hardware capacitive button, but as HTC One has a soft menu button and it appears on some games and some apps, and the screen of HTC One is already smaller than S4, but because of this menu button it has become even smaller. And also the notifications, whenever I receive a notification, either mail or any other notification, S4 receives a notification faster as compared to HTC One, which means I can read my emails or Facebook posts first on S4 and faster on S4 as compared to HTC One. And on the application drawer, there are a lot of toggles here. Samsung introduced has a lot of toggles, and because of the 4.2.2 there are so many other toggles as well. However, on HTC One you will not find any toggle beside this power saver off, which I don't know why they have put it here. It's been there all the time and it's very annoying. This is the fourth reason, or probably this is the fifth reason. I forgot how many reasons I have given you already. Probably it's the fifth reason why what I hate about HTC One. I don't use the power saver mode on any of my devices, and this is annoying. This is taking up space, and I want to get rid of this one. But only way to get rid of it is root your phone and install a tweak. And the browser is better optimized on S4. This is the next reason why I consider the S4, because when you're using a browser on S4 and you want to read any article, you just double tap and it will zoom in and align the article properly, whereas on HTC One you have to adjust manually all the time, and double tap does not result in a proper zoom. And also the scrolling is better on S4 as compared to HTC One. Let me give you an example of the Verge.com on both of these devices. There are many annoyances in the browser, like for example, if I zoom in, you see the things have disappeared. I don't know why, what's the reason, but it tried to reload every time I try to pinch and zoom. If I zoom out, it tried to reload again. This is kind of annoying. This thing doesn't happen on S4. If I zoom in all the way in, it don't have to reload the page like HTC One. And every time it happens on HTC One. As you can see here, I zoomed in and it has to reload. So this was the last reason. Anyways, beside that, HTC One has many advantages as well, which are basically, if you look at the user interface, HTC One has much cleaner and elegant user interface as compared to S4. As you can see, it's more like a cartoonish user interface. And HTC One browser has built-in flash support, which is a nice feature. As you can see here, it has built-in support for flash. Yes, I can install flash on S4 as well, but I'm talking about out of the box experience, and out of the box HTC One supports flash, and whereas Samsung doesn't have, S4 doesn't have a flash. That was the advantages of HTC One over S4. And other disadvantages I feel on S4 is, if Samsung don't put their bloat, it can be, the device actually runs very fast. There is no doubt about that, but it can be even faster if Samsung does not put all kind of sensors and bloatware and things like that. But these things have other advantages as well. So it's, you can say, sometimes it's a con and sometimes it's a pro. And the other thing is the location of this capacitive buttons. They are very close to the edge, and most of the time you are hitting it, these buttons, accidentally, and when you are picking your device like that, you keep on pressing these buttons, or sometimes you keep on pressing the screen, because both the screen and the buttons are very close to the edge. That was the few minor cons I can think about S4. I'm not saying that HTC One doesn't have a better user experience, but if you are considering, comparing these two devices side by side, then I will give more marks to S4 than HTC One for the reason that I have described before. The next round is the camera performance. No one carries their DSLR everywhere, and I know I'm the only exception probably who loves to take DSLR everywhere, but most people don't carry. So the camera in mobile phones really matter these days because the shots taken from them are much more usable now as compared to past. S4 has a 13 megapixel camera, whereas HTC One has only 4 megapixel or ultra pixel camera. But don't let the word ultra fool you. Yes, the ultra pixels allow more light inside the sensor, but yes, more light matters a lot in photography, but it's only the part of the story. Megapixel do matter, and yes, after a certain extent, megapixel count does not matter. But that range is not only 4 megapixel. I mean, forget about these phones. I can tell the difference between an 18 megapixel Canon DSLR and a 24 megapixel Nikon camera, because Nikon, that 24 megapixel camera takes much sharper picture than that 18 megapixel Canon camera. And but by just looking at those photos, I can tell which one is taken by which. Yes, more megapixels create problems at nighttime shooting performance, but Canon 5D Mark III is a clear example, which has 22 megapixel sensor and it takes awesome nighttime shots. The idea of ultra pixel is good, and I will applaud HTC for that, but the implementation is not great. First of all, the 4 megapixel would never be enough for any sort of camera. People would argue that 4 megapixel is good enough for social sharing, but it's not true. Yes, the Facebook reduced the file size and the quality of every photo that you put on the Facebook. But the thing is, even before uploading the photo, if it doesn't look that good, then obviously it will not end up that good on Facebook. Anyone can easily tell the difference between a picture taken by S4 and HTC One and uploaded to Facebook. It's not only just me. The reason why I'm discussing the camera of these two devices in detail, because to me this is the point which is stopping HTC One to become a really great device since last couple of years, and you can say ever since the iPhone 4 came out. When iPhone 4 came out, it was the device, but since then I believe the HTC One could be it has the potential to become such a device, but only thing which is stopping this device is the camera. The truth is, the camera in S4 absolutely kills the camera in HTC One, both in outdoors and indoors. The indoors photos of S4 is not as great as outdoors, but still, if you compare between the two, S4 has better photos. Even in low light, HTC One is supposed to be the winner, but difference is not too much, and sometimes even S4 takes better picture even in low light. HTC One camera suffer from artifacts, less megapixels, soft corners on the photos, and there are blue cast on the corners of the photos under some particular lighting conditions. S4 on the other hand has a very narrow field of view in 13 megapixel mode, just like the Sony Xperia Z. At 9 megapixel, S4 has a wider view of field, but it doesn't remain 13 megapixel camera because it becomes 9 megapixel camera. But even at 9 megapixel, it takes better photos than HTC One. S4 has at times white balance issues and making colors look different from what they are, but it can be corrected through any good photo editing software, but the less megapixel count on HTC One cannot be corrected through any software known to me. And this was the still, and let's compare the video. The video taken by, I mean, both these phones does not perform too well under some conditions. Under some conditions they make good videos, but under some few other conditions they don't perform very well. The greens on S4 are oversaturated, and video does not have optical stabilization which HTC One has. But it does have the digital stabilization, which I don't like because it does not work very well. The only device which has the best digital stabilization is iPhone 5. but at night even iPhone 5 stabilization would make street light looks horrible and the video is not usable. The optical image stabilization is much better than digital. HTC One has optical image stabilization, and in daylight it makes acceptable videos. But at night, although it takes more light in and more things are visible at night, but the frame rate suffers and it dropped down from 30 frames to in the 20s, and you can tell by watching the video that it's not running smooth, and it's not the video don't become the video is not usable. So both cameras have flaws as far as video shooting is concerned, and iPhone 5 and Lumia 920 still makes better videos, but Lumia has oversaturated colors in video mode, so I will consider iPhone 5 more of an all-rounder as far as video making is concerned. Lumia has other disadvantages as well, like Windows 8, which is basically a handicap in many terms, like no 1080p screen support, limited app selection, no proper notification mechanism, and many other things. I'm going to I'm going to put some sample shots taken by both devices under same condition and same objects. I know the YouTube video is not a good way to compare the quality of still photos, but at least it would show what I'm talking about. To me, S4 is a clear winner as far as the camera is concerned. So this round is taken by S4. Moving on, let's move to the gaming. And game runs somewhat smoother on S4 octa-core version as compared to HTC One. Having said that, HTC One is not bad in gaming either, but if you compare between the two devices, then games do look slightly smoother on octa-core version. And also the oversaturated colors of S4 make the gaming graphics really pop, and it has slightly bigger screen, which is another advantage for the gaming. So gaming will go to S4. So this round is taken by Samsung Galaxy S4. Moving on, next one is the charging and battery performance, and S4 has bigger battery, which is 26 milliampere hour battery as compared to 2300 in HTC One. Not only it has bigger battery, but also it will take I have run few tests and real world tests under same conditions, like I put a game on both of them for same amount of time, and if I compare the milliampere hours taken by S4 and HTC One, then S4 has taken less as compared to HTC One, which means a slightly better battery life on S4, even if it has the same amount of battery as in HTC One, still this will show slightly better battery life, especially the octa-core version of S4. And even if you run the any battery benchmark, it will tell you the same, that S4 octa-core has better battery life as compared to HTC One. And let's compare the charging. Charging S4 takes much smaller time than HTC One. S4 usually takes around 2 hours, 2.25 hours, something like that, from 0 to 100, and whereas HTC One takes around 3.5 to 4 hours, and it's really painful experience. I mean, it's 3.5 to 4 hours. I mean, that's a lot. Whenever I put my HTC One for the charging, and it just keep on going, and all the time I see the red light indication that it's charging, and after a very long time it turns into green and 100% battery life. Especially the last 10%, it takes very long time. The reason is the HTC has turned off the S600 processor chipset feature, which is the fast charging mode. They have turned it off, probably just to prolong the non-removable battery life. This has made matter worse because it's taking much long time. Anyways, for the battery and the charging performance, this round goes to S4. Moving on to the extra features, let's compare what each device has to offer extra over the competition. If I compare, both actually have IR blasters, and the TV remote is there, so both offer some extra camera features, but let's see how they differ from each other, and which only those features which I haven't covered in any other category before. First, let's look at the HTC. HTC has some extra camera features like Zoe, highlights, drama shots, and razor shots, things like that, or whatever you call it. It has the kid mode also, but I don't use the kid mode, so I can't tell much about it because I don't give my devices to my kid, and my kid has his own devices. It has the built-in software for flashlight. I know I can install flashlight software on any phone, but we are talking about out-of-box experience, so it is installed already on the system, and it has FM radio as well. So you can say it has four of these features. Let's look at S4, which has a long list of extra features, and I will call it a winner. The reason are like 10-15 features extra. It has the best-in-class camera software, which has so many options and tweaks available. There is dual shot as well on the camera, and so many things that you can do on the camera. The second one is the S-Health, and it's really useful. The third one is a lot of extra gestures that you can show off your gadget to your friends or family. All those scrolling features, the air gestures, things like that. There are a lot of these features packed in this device, so I'm not going to go over it. Most of the people already knows about it. And it has some extra accessories available, like for the health, and it has a gaming controller also, specially made, a Bluetooth gaming controller specially made for this device. It has extra sharing options like S-Beam. I know it will work only between the Samsung devices, but the thing is, it uses Wi-Fi direct, and it's much faster than the slow Bluetooth connection. It has the group play, where you can make your S4 as a speaker to create a different multi-channel sound system, which does not sound as good as dedicated sound system, but it's still not bad, because if you are in a gathering and everyone want to listen a popular song, this feature makes the sound louder and more audible for everyone. And you can also share photos, and you can play game using this feature with your friends. And if you're sharing photos, anyone can draw on these photos, and whatever you draw would be visible to other people you are sharing with. So it's kind of cool feature, and I really enjoyed these features. And also the S4 has the color preset modes, so you can uh, adjust. Let me show you. You can adjust your screen colors using this color presets, which is the kind of a nice feature from Samsung. Samsung Link is another useful added-on feature if you are using other Samsung products like their cameras, TVs, and laptops. So if you can share the contents seamlessly if you have Samsung devices, then Samsung Link is a good feature. Another advantage is the optical reader on S4, and there is also an additional feature called Story Album. I don't use Story Album, but I mean it's there. If anybody is interested in it, they can use it. They can order prints online and things like that. There is S translator as well. I know you can do it through Google and all, but I mean the software is available already out of the box on S4 as compared to HTC One. There is S-Voice as well. I don't use S-Voice or Siri on iPhone, but the thing is, the feature is available. If anyone want to utilize, it's available. And like S3, you can use a wired gaming controller, like your PS3 controller, through wire. You just have to plug it in, and it will work without any routing or any special installation of app or something. This is quite a good feature for the gaming. And it supports MHL 2.0 cable, which does not require the external power, and also the output is the display output is 60 frames per second, which is very good considering the MHL 1.0, which was only 30 frames per second, and it do require the external power while you are displaying your output to external display. And it has some extra accessories available, like the wireless charging that would be available from Samsung down the road, and many third-party solutions would be there for S4, where you will be able to replace your back and you can use wireless charging. So S4 has lot to offer as compared to HTC One. So I will call this round S4 as a winner. Let's move on to the last category, which is the benchmarks. In real world, benchmarks might not matter much, but they do indicate somewhat performance of the device, and S4 bests HTC One in almost every one benchmark. I have made benchmark videos separately for both of these devices earlier, and some of you might have already seen that. If you haven't seen that, you can go and watch them and you can compare yourself. So this benchmark rounds goes to S4. So altogether there were 10 rounds, and S4 takes 7 of those rounds and HTC One takes 2 rounds, and one there was a tie. So does that mean S4 is a clear winner here? Not really, because both these devices are very good and they have different pros and cons. What is a pro for me can be a con for somebody, and vice versa. So choice would vary from person to person. In my humble opinion, S4 is a better device considering all the factors. But your opinion can be different, and I totally respect your opinion because your likes and dislikes and needs might be very different from mine. So no need for any flaming or trolling, but I have given my opinion to be very honest, and both these devices are very good. But if I want to compare both of them, then S4 has slight edge over HTC One. It might not have as much as on HTC One as my comparison would have shown you, but it depends on the person itself, as I said earlier. So I hope that you have enjoyed this comparison video, and I will say thanks for watching, and once again I will say that no need for any flaming and trolling. See you later. Bye.